Hey guys, it's M4J here and welcome back to the Majeffries Network here on OpenTTD. Now, you're watching this on Monday. I'm recording this on the Sunday, so I can safely talk about what's going to happen over the next week, and hopefully the majority of it will come true. But you're watching this on Monday. Now, to you guys, Monday the 22nd of January 2018 is just a normal day. For me, it's my 25th birthday. So what better way to wish me a happy birthday than by giving this video a big thumbs up and subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. Now I've got that shameless plug out of the way, let's get on with the episode, shall we? I want to apologise for there being no episode on Friday. Usual thing, uni kind of got in the way. I had a couple of impromptu lectures that sort of sprung up out of nowhere, and I've always said I'd rather delay a video and make it good than rush a video and it be bad. Hopefully I've kept with that mantra, but you know, only you guys can tell me that. But what we're going to be doing today is not here at Munfingford Paragon. This was me just finishing off getting the rest of these trains out. That's another reason why there was no episode on Friday, is these trains have taken me ages. Because I've been changing train types over and all sorts of things like that. I don't know why I've got this selected. Yeah, it's been a pain trying to get everything finished, trying to get everything done, trying to get all the train types swapped over. Then there was a whole issue with timetabling, had to reset loads of timetables. It's not been easy, but I think we're at a stage now where I can say with some certainty that we are on the right track. Fingers crossed. I think some of the Gardcity Connect trains might still be a little bit funny. I've kind of found a new way of redoing the timetables without having to reset absolutely everything, so that's good. It's one of the advantages that we have of having lots of different trains of lots of different timetables running over the same bits of track is, so for example, this train, say it arrives at a station and it comes up saying, oh, this train's arrived 10,000 ticks early. I used to sit there and go, why has it done that? And then I'll just reset the timetable and basically start from scratch and let it autofill itself. Now, however, I can go into the timetable. Let's say it arrived at GSG 10,000 ticks early. I can go down to here and then I could say, oh, between Guard Lake and GSG it says it takes, in this case, 2,000. Let's say it takes 12,026 ticks. That doesn't sound right. So then I will come down here. I will select this train, which is a centre rail train, and I'll go into the timetable and I would scroll down to here and say, oh, it's only supposed to take 2,026 ticks, and then I would change this one to match this one. That's how I fix the problem. There is the issue of the top speed of these trains is only 90 miles an hour and the top speed of these trains is 100 miles an hour. Actually, that's not that one. This one is 100 miles an hour. So there might be some differences, but 10 mile an hour difference isn't that much. It can still sit at a station and arrive a little bit early, going at 10 miles an hour faster. That's still better than what it was currently doing, which was not good. But yeah, we're over here in Gardcity. That's where we're going to be operating today. You can see that I've still got this train, and this train. So we're not going to be putting new trains on the network today. We're going to be focusing on building the new terminus. So last episode we added the extra platforms to GSM-A. We are at some point going to fix GSJ. That'll probably be next episode actually. We're going to fix GSJ to get that operating as a proper, well, it already does operate at a proper terminus, but make sure that it's ready for the new trains that are going to be arriving and departing from there. And now we're going to be focusing on this station here, which is the only brand new terminus that we're actually building in Gardcity at this moment. Now you'll notice from the title of this video, the newest saint. We're going to have a new saint arriving in Gardcity. So currently we've got GSG, Gardcity St George. We got technically GSB, Gardcity Bartholomew. I mean, technically the station's called Bartholomew Square, but I have done some quick googling and Bartholomew is indeed a saint. Bartholomew the Apostle. Apparently it's the patron saint of leather workers, plasterers, tanners, trappers and couriers. or couriers, not couriers as in carrying packages, but Cuirriers. So couriers, I guess. In fact, what are the other ones? Is there a Christopher? Yeah, St. Christopher is the patron saint of travellers, bookbinders, gardeners, mariners, drivers, surfers, athletes, and pilots. He's got his work cut out for him. And then we got GSG, which is George. Wow, okay. St. George is the patron saint of agricultural workers, archers, armourers, boy scouts, butchers, cavalry soldiers, crusaders, equestrians, horsemen, which is the same thing, I'm sure, husbandry, knights, saddle makers, shepherds, Teutonic knights, which are apparently policemen and firefighters in Brazil. So he's very busy as well. We then have Gardcity St. John. John, there's several Johns actually. There's more than several Johns. There's John the Almoner, there's John the Apostle, John the Baptist, John of Damascus, John the Evangelist, John of God, John Baptist de la Salle, John Birchmans, or Berkmans, John Bosco, John Gualbert, and John Vianney, who's the patron saint of priests. That's good to know as well. And then we got St. Michael and St. Mark. Now there isn't a St. Mark, as far as I'm aware, on here. So that's me, essentially. That's why I chose St. Mark, because it's me. There is a St. Michael, though, I think. Yes. Michael the Archangel. He's the patron saint of soldiers, paramedics, paratroopers, police officers, and security officers. And then the final saint that we had was St. Thomas, which was in fact named after my brother, but there are 4 St. Thomases. There's St. Thomas himself, who's the patron saint of architects, politicians, and land surveyors. Again, I don't know where they get these from. How do you go from politicians to land surveyors? You then got Thomas Aquinas, which is, again, I'm assuming or Aquinas. Pronunciation is not my strong point when it's a word that I've only seen for the first time. He's the patron saint of students, teachers, and academics, which makes sense. All 3 of them are actually of the same topic. Thomas Becket, sometimes misnamed as Thomas A. Becket. He's the patron saint of, oh god, diocesan priests? I don't know. And then Thomas More, who's the patron saint of politicians, statesmen, lawyers, civil servants, and court clerks. So yeah, that's fun. I should say that the actual religious connotations behind these saints are not the reason why they are what they are. The reason they are what they are is because I originally wanted to build a big station and I chose St. George mainly because, and I think I've got this right, my favourite station in London is King's Cross, which might sound like a really, really dumb thing to have, but yeah, it's my favourite station. The reason it's my favourite station is because I live on the East Coast Main Line, so whenever I went to London, King's Cross was the station I went to. Most people would think it'd be Paddington, because I'm a big fan of the Great Western Railway and Brunel. However, Paddington itself, the actual inside of the station is quite nice, but I think it's been too modernised at the moment. You've got things like, you know, the Heathrow Connect services are there, Crossrail's now there. It's really, it's kind of a shadow of its former self, and you could argue the same thing for King's Cross, but then they did the restoration project a couple of years ago now, where they got rid of that horrible green awning thing out the front, and now it's the original building again. Anyway, King's Cross. King's Cross, I believe, is named after... Yes, the current name has its origin in a monument to King George IV, and that's where St. George came from. And then all the others just happen to be random names that I chose with a saint in front to keep up the theme. That's kind of what I'm going for here. However, because I was looking up patron saints in order to find a good one, I found one that's totally unrelated to transport, but I realised that we don't have any female names. We got George, John, Mark, Thomas, Christopher, Michael, and Peter. Oh, I forgot St. Peter. So sorry. St. Peter is the... well, there's 3 Peters. There's Peter the Apostle, who's the patron saint of popes, fishermen, fishmongers, sailors, bakers, harvesters, butchers, glassmakers, carpenters, shoemakers, clockmakers, blacksmiths, potters, bridge builders, that's quite apt, and cloth makers. Then you've got Peter of Alcantara, who's the patron saint of guards, and then you've got Peter Damien, who's the patron saint of trackers and freerunners. So I'm assuming tracker is something to do with parkour. Yeah, tracker is parkour. There you go. So Peter Damien, that has to be a person who's like still alive now, surely. No. Died in 1072 or 1073. How did a person who died in the 1000s end up the patron saint of parkour? I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, the new saint. The new saint. That's what we're going to be talking about today. I realised we didn't have any females, and I like diversity. I like equality. So I think, and I also like modern times. And at the moment, the monarch in the UK is Queen Elizabeth II. So, in no way related to the fact that our Queen is called Elizabeth, I just happen to choose the name anyway. This is going to be Saint Elizabeth. Bam. And that is our new terminal name. It's going to be Gardcity Saint Elizabeth. Now I've put the town here. The idea is to have the tracks approach here underneath this bridge and then go into some kind of tunnel here and then emerge under here somewhere. Maybe up here actually. And then we don't have to demolish too much of the town here. And this is going to be the site of the station. So I think 10 platforms is more than enough. Something like this as a start point. It is going to be electrified. So we are going to go for electrification like so. We're then going to go island stations and we're going to look for a nice design, I think, I hope, maybe. We could end up just going with the bland style like this. Like that. And you are going to be Gardcity St. Elizabeth. Although, hang on, before we get too involved, I think it does need to be a little bit closer to the rest of the town. Otherwise, the name doesn't make much sense. Losing my voice now as well. That's nice. So yeah, whilst I'm building this, I'm going to try and build and talk at the same time. This could end up disastrous, but there's a really interesting subject that I wanted to bring up, and it's to do with last episode. So last episode, I was talking about hang on, let me just make sure I'm doing this right. We don't need that many. I don't think we need 10 platforms, to be honest, for this station. I think that's too many. I reckon. I realise I've stopped the story already. Barely even started it. So last episode, I was talking about Thameslink, and I'd already made the point a couple of episodes ago that Thameslink should be on the tube map, and then I was about to say George Silver campaigned for it not to be. That's not what he said. He said in his opinion it shouldn't be, which is fine, because he's got a point. My retort to that was, if Crossrail should be on the tube map, then so should Thameslink, because they do the same thing. They go east to west and north to south, so they don't go in the exact same directions or anything, but essentially they do the same thing. They take people from one side of the city to the other. And I put the episode out and thought nothing of it. No one argued against it, no one argued for it. So I just figured, okay, it's a conversation that sort of died in the water a bit. That is until I got a comment from George de Silva saying that he'd found a story that TfL are actually in trouble now. I mean, they're not. There's no fines or anything like that. They're not in serious trouble, but people are saying, hang on a minute, why isn't Thameslink on the tube map? And the theory, this was a story in the Evening Standard, I believe, and the theory goes that TfL view Thameslink as a direct competitor to their services. So you think about it, the Northern Line was the example that I used. If you want to get between somewhere like London Bridge and somewhere like King's Cross, or Euston. Euston's probably a better example, actually. No, that's a terrible example. King's Cross is a good example. Or St Pancras. King's Cross, St Pancras. I was saying how many stops you'd have to go on to get between the two, depending on whether you went via Thameslink or whether you went via the Northern Line. And that's exactly what this story was saying. They're saying that TfL are deliberately leaving Thameslink off of their maps because they know that if people went on Thameslink instead of using the Northern Line, then TfL would lose money, essentially. So it's kind of a version of industrial sabotage, I suppose, but not in a malicious way. Like, TfL aren't doing it to spite Thameslink; they're doing it to stop Thameslink taking away their revenue. So it's not necessarily the right thing for them to do, but I do kind of understand from a business point where they're coming from. They need to make money somehow, and if Thameslink take away all their passengers, then they're not going to make any money. So I think it's wrong still that they're not putting Thameslink on the map. They have said that they will consider it in the future, but my argument will always be, if they put Crossrail on the map, despite the fact that Crossrail is TfL and Thameslink isn't, if they're putting Crossrail on the map, then they have to put Thameslink as well. End of. You can't put one and not the other, because they do the same things. And it is misleading. It is incredibly misleading to have one and not the other, especially when that one happens to be the one that you are earning money from. That doesn't sound right to me. That just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like something that TfL should be doing and getting away with. But as I said last episode, that's just my opinion. No one's right or wrong in this particular situation. It's one opinion versus another, and that's fine. That's exactly what debate is all about. It's one side against another, with no necessarily clear winners. But it's interesting that we were talking about it, and then it came up in the news, almost exactly how I said it would as well. That's the bit that sort of made me chuckle a little bit. That's why I asked George for the link, because when he first put the comment, I was like, no way. Has that really become a story? And then I read it, and yes, it has become a story. But yeah, that's what this series is starting to become. It's me moaning about current affairs and then finding stories that either back up the point or contradict the point. And that's, it's fun. It's fine. As I say, if anyone wants to present arguments against Thameslink, apart from it's not TfL, because we've already had that one, and to be honest, that doesn't back up the argument as to why it shouldn't be on the map. All that does do is back up the argument as to why TfL aren't putting it on the map, not why it shouldn't be on the map. But yeah, leave some comments down below. Let's get some conversation going. It's a very interesting subject. Whilst I'm waffling, you'll notice that I am at the point now where this station is pretty much finished. There's no exact designation on how these platforms are going to function. So what I mean by that is no particular platform is necessarily going to be for express trains, and no particular platform is going to be for stopping trains. The inspiration I have for this station is Marylebone. I've never been to Marylebone myself, so I'm relying on pictures that I've seen of the station. What I do know is it used to have quite a few platforms. I think it was 8, and then it went down to 3, and now it's back up to 4. I think that's right. And that's pretty much all I know about Marylebone. Yeah, I think that is actually everything I know about Marylebone. So I'm kind of going off pictures that I've seen on Wikipedia and things like that. I'm also going off things that I've read on Wikipedia and things like that. Now, I know my lecturers at uni say don't use Wikipedia as a source because it's not reliable. But actually, I think in things like that, why would someone lie about what Marylebone looks like? Especially, why would someone doctor pictures to change what Marylebone looks like? I don't think they would. Therefore, I'm going to assume that that is a reliable source to look at. So we're going to do the same thing as we did with the new platforms at GSMA. So we're going to build a little set of crossovers here, kind of like this, and then from here we're going to go like that and like that. And then let's see if I do that, yep, good, right, okay. Just checking all this. So the platforms here, as I said, there's going to be no distinction between express and stopping. There's also a good chance that these two platforms at the end here I might just get rid of, because I don't really think we're going to need them. I think this as a station is plenty big enough, so I am going to do that very quickly. Or am I? Do you know what? No, I'm going to leave those for now. I'm going to make them mail platforms, because there's a very good chance that we could have a mail service operating from here. So I'm going to go on the episode plans list really quickly. Construct terminus, done. Name new terminus, done. Now we've got to do the next bit. So this is now officially GSE, Gardcity St. Elizabeth, as you can see. The next part of the episode is we have to connect GSE up to Flame Junction. Was it Flame Junction? Yeah, it was Flame Junction. I'm going to connect it up to Flame Junction anyway. So we're going to do that now. Now, this line that we drew might not be how this route is exactly going to be. The reason for that is if I put some signals here. Something else I want to do really quickly as well is build another couple of platforms. Here and here. And these are going to be for like Uber suburban trains. Trains that aren't really going, maybe even trains that just terminate at Flame and come back again. They're certainly not going to be full-on trains. They're going to go the full distance up to Sunnington and beyond. Let's put these shelters in at the end. One like that, one like that. And then we're going to put signal, signal. This is going to come all the way along like this. And then signal, signal. You are a excuse me, one-way signal. So the middle line is always going to be the outline. The rest are all bi-directional, but the middle line is always the outline, just so we can make sure that there's no I just realised what I said as well, outline, just so we can make sure that there's no like congestion, gridlock, that's the word I was looking for. Make sure there's no gridlock in and out of the station. Right, and then at this point we are going to build I think I said this last episode, I always get something stuck in my throat when I'm about to start recording. I do apologise for me continuously clearing my throat. But yeah, this is where the trains are going to cross over and start on slow or fast. Or maybe there'll be one more. I think there'll be one more section. Thinking about it. Like this. And this one will be the outline. There's always got to be an outline. It's one thing I've learned from doing this. And then here we can quite simply go across like that. And then if I build a couple of extra, one like so, one like so, and here like that. Okay. Now actually again I said we're going to have an outline and we're going to have slow lines and fast lines. I'm really not with it at the moment. I don't know what's wrong with me. I just can't focus properly. Really weird. I said we're going to have fast lines and slow lines. Do you know what? I don't think we will. I think these two lines, the northern lines here, are going to be the ones that connect up at Flame Junction, which is right the way up here, over here. And then the other two lines are going to be the two that head over this way and connect up at Tenfing Bridge and Drunnington. And I think, if you excuse me bumping my headset while I'm scratching my head, I think that will be good. I think that will work best. So, from here, I think these two lines are going to go up. Whoops. And over the water here. So let's do stone. Yeah, I think viaducts will work fine. The speed limit here is not going to be that fast, so we don't need to worry too much about what type of bridge and stuff we use. So these two are going to come down like this and then curve this way, and we might have to rebuild the road. I think we have to rebuild the road. Yeah, because at this point, if we head straight north, a little bit to the west, straight north again, and then we can connect up over at Flame Junction, absolutely no problem. He says, but then he looks at it and thinks actually there might be a little bit of a problem, which can be fixed. So yeah, no problem. Absolutely no problem. These two lines are going to go down underground and emerge again over here, like so. And going back to this station over here really quickly, it's going to be bi-directional platforms, so the train will arrive or leave in either direction depending on where it's going. So we're going to call this Menwell City. Actually, Menwell City North. And also, this set of lines need a name. Either one name that's going to be shared between the both, just add east or west depending on which direction they're going in, or, and more preferably to me, call the line between GSE and Flame Junction one name, and then call the line between GSE and the other station, which I always forget the name of, call that another name. That might work better. It's up to you guys. Depends on what you want to name them. I will get the name of that station though, so if you do want to name the lines something, you would at least know which stations it go. You at least know which stations the line is going between. I must apologise for my terrible speech. I've the other thing that's been getting in the way of episodes is I've been having some late nights because my uni work sort of crept up on me a little bit. Not so much that I wasn't prepared for it, it was more a case of because of the other stuff that I've got going on at the moment, the uni work took a back seat for a while, and then the deadlines approached, and so I've had a few late nights trying to get all that finished, which is why my brain just doesn't want to work quite as well as it normally would. So huge apologies for that. How long am I going to make these stations? I think 5 is going to be fine. Yeah, I think 5 will be fine. We'll do something like this. Yeah, that looks good. So we're going to have a connection here with the Cross City line. What did we call this line? Did we call this line something? We must have done. We must have done. Surely. There'll be a name for it somewhere. Anyway, we'll build some tunnels underneath. So I think we'll have a station at either side of the tunnels. So this looks like where the tunnels are going to finish. So if that goes down. Yeah, hang on. Move that. and do that. There we go. Like this. There we go. And then we could put a tunnel on a bridge. There you go. That's my mind completely kaput. But yeah, could put something on that side as well. Right. We must have a name for this line. Let me find it. What station was this? Sladtown. Yeah, Sladtown. No. We don't have a name for it yet. Okay, so that's another line that needs naming. And also another line that needs putting on the list. Ooh, how have I not done that yet? I've no idea. Absolutely no idea. Yeah. So, let's keep building, shall we? So at this point, I think we're going to maybe skirt along Meadinghall, and then we're going to turn a bit to the west so we can swing round and enter Flame Junction from that west side. So let's continue to build this line. It's one of these things about this series in particular, and I'm so glad that I took this series back down from 3 episodes a week to 2 episodes a week, because you guys would not believe, unless you actually play the game yourself and you do the same things that I do, you wouldn't believe how long it takes to do the smallest of tasks. So I think the best example of that is this new train thing. I'm really liking these new trains, and it looks as though there's going to be more, which is fantastic. And one of the things I did off camera, which is partly the reason why the timetabling is all screwed up, is the North Rail trains, so the ones that were served by Flirts, Stadler Flirts. Is it Stadler Flirts? I think it's Stadler Flirts. I think it's Bombardier Talents, Stadler Flirt, and Stadler Kiss. I think they're the 3. I mean, Flirt and Kiss sound like really random names, but they're abbreviations. That's why they're named like they are. I can't remember exactly what their names are off the top of my head, but it's something in German about what they do. So I think Flirt is flexible, low floor, something like that. Regional train is what the RT is. And the Kiss is something to do with it having 2 floors. I can't remember. I can't remember off the top of my head. Someone will tell me. Someone always tells me. But all of those services, I liked the trains, but it was because I said right at the start of this series we're going to go from the very beginning through the Age of Steam up towards the end, and I said this last episode as well. We kind of fast forwarded through the heritage part, so where it's all very, very early EMUs and first generation EMUs and second generation DMUs. So I went back, and we now have those trains operating. So we have, let me remind myself what they are. I think it's the 305s. Yeah, these. We have these in Regional Railways livery, operating all North Rail services, except for the one that uses the fast lines between Warnbridge and Beffingway, I think it is. They use the 350 Desiros. So at that point we've sort of leapt into the future a little bit. The reason being is these trains, the top speed is 75 miles per hour, and where they run on the fast line, where trains are running at 125 and 140 miles per hour, it's not safe really to have a train that goes that slow. So we use the Desiros with a top speed of 110. Because I've done this, all the trains on the North Valleys line, that's also run by North Rail, the ones that were 158 Express Sprinters, they've all been downgraded to 150 Sprinters, also in Regional Railways livery. So North Rail's livery now is technically Regional Railways, except the Desiros have to be in London Midland livery, so they operate in that livery. With this line, I would like to do something similar. I'd like to have some really old-styley trains operating. So I'm going to have a look off camera. I'm going to have a look and see what types of train. I did not want to do that. what types of train we can have operating on this line. Because I think I might just do all of that stuff off camera and not have to subject you guys to it anymore. Because it does get a little bit tedious. A little bit. Just a teeny weeny bit. Doing all the timetabling. It's not the most fun thing in the world. Right, so this is going to be the line that heads towards GSE. So it's going to come through here. It's then going to come along here. It's going to go under a bridge here. And then it's going to go under that bridge there. Like so. So the speed here is going to be quite slow, or the speed around this corner at least is going to be quite slow, and then it's going to pick up speed and shoot off into the distance. I'm trying to think of the word then. The in-track, this one's going to be a little bit more interesting trying to do. So it's going to come through here, obviously, and then through here, and then here it's just going to go straight down and connect up to all the platforms there. We're then going to put the signal there, and it's this side of the tunnel where things are going to get interesting, because I think what we're going to have to do is swing around and go underneath. So here, if we come out, bulldoze this farm. I know we're making a lot of people homeless and a lot of people unemployed doing this, but a necessary evil? I think I've used that expression one too many times, but it's kind of the case. But yeah, underneath like that, and then through a tunnel here. And then here, up here. Bulldoze this a second. Bulldoze this piece of whatever that is. And then here, so it's going to go up the hill. It's then going to, actually hang on, we can bring this back a little bit. Like this. Like that. And then go along there, up, here, and then the two lines join together like this, and then we'll have a station here that will probably be called something like Flame South. And now we can connect these two lines together. So actually that's pretty good there. We'll go along like this here. This will go all the way along like so. Like that and like that. And then like that and oops, like that. Awesome. It's a slightly long way round of doing it, but we do now have this connected. So trains can now run from GSE technically to GSG, which is good, but I think, yeah, sorry, I'm distracting again. We can now have trains running from GSE to GSG if we wanted, via all this elongated thing. But the reason we've connected it up in this direction is not for that reason. The reason we've connected it up in this direction is so that we can have another connection that goes off in a slightly different way. And I'm just looking to see how I can do this. Why is that part of that? I've no idea. Absolutely no idea. If I unpause the game for a second, let this go. To about there. Looks fine. Right. So we're going to have two tracks that come in from here and from here. And when they get to this point, they're going to dive down, not there, here, dive down underground. and they will emerge again somewhere around here. Hang on a second. If I do this, and if I do this, and then if I do that. And then here. Oh, it was actually fine the way it was before. Right, hang on. So if I do this, and if I do this, alright, like that, like that. No, it doesn't work. Lower these, level this. There we go. Right, and then from here we need this to be able to go right the way across, which is why I'm going to move these signals and change. So if I get rid of these two for a second, because they're not part of any programming or anything, so that's going to go across to there, let's say, and then that one like that, and then here we can do this. Alright, let's just do the simple method of this copies from this, get rid of that one, and then was it there? Right, so hang on, this is the bit where it's going to be a little bit tricky. Let that clear the block. Pause. Right. So let's start with this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So actually there is fine. So you're slow. You're fast. You're fast. And you are slow. And then get rid of these four. Let's come out of this view. Although it doesn't exactly improve my viewpoint. There. And then we scrap that signal. Okay, so we should now be able to go from this platform here to the fast platform over here, which we can do. And then this slow platform here right the way across, which we can also do, which is good. Like that. And then you are going to be a separate waypoint, as is you. And you are going to be Flayham east cross country, I suppose it is. It's part of the cross country. So you're going to come out under here. And then what? So we need to get up to here, essentially. Although we're going to connect probably here, or maybe here. Here actually looks good, because then we can go like this. So let's see. From here, just connect up like that, which then means I can take this one back a little. Like this. I'm not sure I quite like the shape of that. I think I prefer it like this. The idea really is to stop the trains getting in each other's way, but I'm not 100% sure I've achieved that. If I do this, then I kind of have. And I'll build another one across, can't there. Build another one across like that. Yeah, I think I do need that one there actually. That should be fine. That should be fine. Worse designs, I'm sure. And then here we're going to dig a hole through there. We want a station at Plenville, and we probably want a station, maybe not Bruntbourne actually. I think if we come around this way and go this side of Plenville and have a station here. So let's lift this land up like that. We'll have small bridges going across like so. You'll then come across to here. I think if we keep this embankment up till we get to here, which we could do this way. Like that, and then join these ones up like this, and then do this with the little bridges again, and then that should connect us up on that side. And now we just got to do this section over by Bruntbourne. So I think if we come along like this, no, I don't like that. I don't like that. I think what I want it to do really is to come under this freight line. So we're going to do some reconfiguring of this. And like that. Alright. So you come under like that, you come under like that. And like that. This comes under like so. Like this. And like this. And then hang on. We don't want to stop at Bruntbourne. We don't want to stop here at Bruntbourne at all. I keep thinking we're going to build a station here, but we're not. If we do end up building a station here, we can always fit one on this little section here. But yeah, we can now go along like so, along like so, down the slope like that. This will come along like this, and then this one will connect there, that one will connect there. And we have now connected GSE to the Great Northern route as well, which is awesome. And then one final connection we can make so that it doesn't have to go onto the main line at all in order to do that is we could do this for the slower trains. Because I imagine some of the trains from GSE will go round this loop anyway, even if they end up going north through Honningville. But what's important about this line is we can now run electric trains between Sunnington and Gronwell, which is exactly what we're going to be doing in the very near future. I called this Flame East Cross Country, didn't I? Yeah. I suppose it's part of the cross country route. I don't see why not. So let's build some signals like this, and then you'll come along like that. Where was it? There. You'll come along like that. This will be turned into this type and like so. Excuse me. And then here and here you are Renningville cross country. Whoops. Like so. So we can run diesel trains along the North Valleys line if we wish, or we can run electric trains along this link instead. I'm probably going to favour this link a little bit more, but you never know. That's the beauty of this game, is you never know. Now, where am I going to build? Do we need a station here at Renningville? I suppose we do for the real slow commuter style trains. So I think for that, I will move this along a little bit. Like so. And in fact, just had a bit of an idea. If I build, let's do that, 2, 3, and 4, and then I can put a signal there and a signal there, and then I can leave the other 2 lines in as through lines. So this will be an opportunity for faster trains to overtake slightly slower ones. And then up here, we'll build a proper station with no fast tracks. That one, 5. In fact, if I do this, these platforms might have to be 6 long because of the type of train that will be running along it. So yeah, that works well. And then I suppose we could build a station here. It's only that signal we have to move. That's not what I wanted to click. There we go. So we'll just go 1, 2, 3, 4. Change those to benches actually. There we go. Okay. So yeah, if I now go here and change this, get it to copy from that, and then do that, and then change, copy from that, change this to that, and then change it to say current order instead, and then this side I could do with putting a waypoint in. In fact, do I? No. Do you know what I will do though? I'll put a station in here, which will be the, what was the name we agreed on? Flame South, I think it was. And then we'll just use that as a waypoint as well. So you're going to copy from this, except your current order is going to be that. Alright. And then actually I've shot myself in the foot a little bit here. I'm not sure I like this curve. I think the curve is a bit too much. I think this looks nicer. Like that. So then let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Signal goes there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Signal goes there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Signal goes there. Like that. Alright. And then, did I do that direction? I didn't. I have now. How does it line up over here? Pretty good, actually. Pretty damn good. Right, so the next station along the line is going to be here. Let's use a ramp for this, because there's a very good chance that this line will have level crossings. It's not going to be 100% safe. Well, I mean, I always say that as if level crossings aren't safe. Level crossings are a hell of a lot safer now than they used to be. It just so happens to be that I'm reading an article at the moment about the way that the level crossings, the automatic level crossings, were first introduced in a rail accident that happened at Kingston, I think it was, because of the way that it wasn't good. Let's put it that way. It was not good. And there was a real idiot who worked for British Rail, who I haven't got to the stage yet where I've find out what happens to him. It feels like I'm reading a book. Like there's a really good bit of the book just about to happen where the villain finally gets caught. So I'm very much looking forward to sitting down and reading the rest of the article to find out what happens to this guy, because he was an absolute moron with his suggestions for automatic level crossings. So I hope they really threw the book at him. I won't name him. I mean, I'm sure he's no longer with us by now, but I still won't name him. That should be a good size for the station. The reason I've done that is so that I can do this. So then that will connect up. Let's do this properly. There we go. So the road will come down here, along here, and then connect up with that. And then this side it'll do whatever. Okay, and then do we need another station? Yes, we do here at Meddinghall. So let's do this. Then we're going to have stairs. 3, 4, 5. And then the next one is over here at Flame. Okie dokie. So that's this line pretty much finished in terms of coming out of GSE. Now we are going to build a depot somewhere as well. Question is where. I think it'll have to be in this gap here, and then we'll use these junctions to get trains across to where they need to be. I think that works well. Yeah. So I know I'm getting rid of a lot of waterways. The majority of the waterways I will replace. Some of them though I won't. So I mean, this waterway is still intact, so I can afford to get rid of this one. That's the way I'm choosing to look at it anyway. Other people might think differently. Shall I build the other connection now? I think I'll do that off camera, to be honest. This episode is approaching an hour. Yeah. Plus this line splits further as well over here, with these two continuing up and over. Is this right? So I think I will follow this line in the end. I think I will just go up, maybe up to here. Like, have it connect up over here and just have this little extra bit here electrified. Who knows? But we're definitely going to connect up over here, because we're going to run trains between Sunnington and GSE, which is kind of the reason why this station came about, actually, is because I wanted a stopping service between GSG and Sunnington, or at least between Gardcity and Sunnington. And originally I was going to have trains start at the depot that we built up near Sunnington a few episodes ago for the Javelins, go into Sunnington's platforms and then stop at pretty much every station along the route until we got here to Gloucester. Now here at the moment we have Javelins come straight through and then cross over to the slow line. I was going to do this in reverse, so have trains stop at Gloucester and then switch over to the fast lines. The reason being is so they could terminate here at GSG. But if we build these new platforms here at GSE, which then means there'll be a new metro line or a new overground service, because I could have built the platforms over here and then Barnwell Crescent could have become GSE, and actually I'm starting to think maybe that's what I should have done. Oh well. Maybe we can build a new set of overground platforms over here and have this line curve round, something like that. I don't know. What I do know though is we're going to have a new metro line that will come out this way. So currently the metro runs this way around GSC. However, what I'm going to do is do a junction here, have a new set of platforms for the metro on this side of GSC, and then straight after GSC I think have it come under here via some new stations here. Maybe stop at Genford. Would that work? Probably wouldn't actually. So I just come past through this section here and then up through Manuel, or thread the needle here into GSE, and then continue up and out this way actually on this side. The other option, of course, that's one option. The other option is to have the junction here and yeah, basically follow the same route but just not come off here, come off here, and then on this side have the line go up towards Plintbridge, because this is going to be the metro station, or the metro liner, sorry, that also serves Plintbridge. Now the reason I don't like the second option is because the whole point of doing these new metro lines is so that this side of the loop gets a bit more service, because I believe it is just the circle line that stops at GSMI, GSP, things like that. And as you can see, there's so many passengers stuck here waiting, and I think the reason is, yeah, 500 want to go to Hatfield Town South, 477 want to go to St Peter Hardware, Great Winfield, in fact these are all actually going off on the Western Reaches, St Michael North there, some more stuff here. And if I look at St Peter, South Bank, which is, as we know, a metro station, it's over the other side of GSMA actually, Dinpool East, which is on the... How have I forgotten where Dinpool is? There it is. It's on the overground. It is on the metro as well, but it's on the overground. So I think we need a new metro line that serves the west side of the city, and this is a perfect opportunity to build one. If we branch off back down here, and then stop at GSC on this side of the station. And then it also means that GSC becomes a bit more like Paddington, because Paddington has 2 underground stations, technically, one on each side of the station. If you go on the circle line through Paddington, I've just got my map up, the circle line on the district line from Edgware Road down through Paddington towards somewhere like Notting Hill Gate, you will stop on the southern side, I think it is, or the western side, I think it's the southern side of Paddington, at a station that used to be Praed Street. Whereas if you go on the circle line on the Hammersmith and City line towards Hammersmith, you will stop on the northern side, which is essentially right next to the mainline platforms. They were 2 separate stations when they were first built. They've now been combined into the Paddington complex. Anyway, I'm waffling again. I think we're going to go with option A and build a junction here, and then cut across this way via a new set of platforms here at GSC, which will probably be built in a little cutting just here, and have this road continue straight on. And then from here, curve round under the track here, because I think we could get some nice bridges with this viaduct here as well, and then come out this side, and then curve out this side, curve north here, maybe have a stop here at St Christopher's Exchange, and then that will give it a reason to have the name Exchange, and then up past GSE, and in fact maybe here from GSE we can then curve around this way, or head a bit further north first, maybe connect up again with this line for a little bit, and then branch off again and actually go over via Plintbridge. That could work. I quite like that idea, and actually have some metro platforms just going into this section here, and then have the line continue off that way. I actually quite like that idea. We might do that idea. I might have to write that down actually. So let me just do the off-camera connect GSE to I always forget the name of the station. Where are we? Over here. Dronnington and Trenfing Bridge. Okay. And then, so that'll be off camera. I'll do that between now and Friday's episode. And then episode number 218, which is the next episode, construct metro line between, let me just confirm, so here's GSMI, so it's here, Lord's Lane, between Lord's Lane and Plint Bridge Parkway via GSC and GSE. That's the first bit. And we got to build a southern leg. So I think, I mean, the capacity at Bankside is pretty good, I would say. So I think we could actually afford to have the new line follow this completely through Bankside. And it's only from Bankside that I'm then struggling. Maybe we can come down this way. So I think it's hang on, how many? Yeah, I'll check here actually. So your circle line and the junction line also comes via Stillington, and I think, is it the Rindingwell line? Oh no, it's the Stillington line. Of course it is. And the Rindingwell line. Alright, all four head down that way, so we're not going to go that way. So I think here we're going to continue this way. But then there's three lines that come through here as well. Maybe we'll just terminate at Bankside. We could just terminate at Bankside. I can't see why that would be a bad thing. It's the South Bank line that terminates at Bankside as well. Let me just check. Oops. This platform. Victoria High Street, which is that one. Yeah. So we could just terminate at Bankside. Might do that. Might do that. We'll see. We'll either do that or we'll build another junction somewhere. Probably here. And continue down south. Because we haven't got any metro down in this area. We got overground. We haven't got metro. Metro very much. It's very east side oriented. But yeah. That pretty much does do it for this episode, guys. It's been a little hit and miss, stop-start, that kind of thing, this episode. We got going in the end, though. We actually built a lot, considering. We built a whole new terminus station in Gardcity and a whole new main line. Plus a connecting line. Plus, we fiddled around with the junctions at Flaham, and we've also planned another line that's going to connect with the West Wind line in the other direction. So we have done a fair amount today. Actually, something else I want to do off camera is build GSE depot west of bi-directional lines. And by that I mean build a depot in this gap here, just to the west of where the lines are bi-directional. I think that's pretty self-explanatory, to be honest. So next episode we're going to construct the metro line between Lord's Lane and Plint Bridge Parkway via GSC and GSE. I then want to do something else. I know what we could do. We can finish checking St. John to make sure that check St. John for rail paths and platform availability. So make sure that we're not going to overly congest the station, and then build rail junction east of Renston interchange for new main line. Okay, and that's what we're going to do next episode. So I can't guarantee that we'll finish the main line from Renston, but we will at least start it. We did plan it out, I believe, so that's all good to go. But definitely want to make sure that St. John is up to the task. These two platforms, maybe these three, are off limits because they're part of the overground section here. Did I make some more changes over here since last episode? I don't think I did. You can see here, these are the new platforms at GSMA. They're looking quite nice. I think the whole station might need to be rebuilt a little bit though, so it doesn't look so clunky and bleh at the moment. And then once that's done, just thinking, where does... Oh yeah, no, I do know. I was about to say, how do these overground trains get into these platforms? But it's because they come from this set of lines here. So they go through these centre platforms here, they go through Funing South without stopping, and then stop at Funing North, and they go up to GSMA. But yeah, this setup, how we've got these lines now, is pretty much going to be the basis for all future terminus stations. So GSMA and GSE are the precursors to all of the other stations getting the same treatment. But yeah, I think that is it for this episode now, guys. So thank you very much for watching. Anyone who has wished me a happy birthday in the comments, thank you. I'll thank you in advance. Hopefully that will then encourage people to actually do so, because some people don't for some reason, which I think is a bit rude. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and of course if you're enjoying the series. Drop some comments down below with ideas for future episodes. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button. If you have already subscribed to the channel, thank you guys for your continued support. And until next time, I will see you soon.